Good afternoon, folks. Who's this reporting for duty? Let me just see whether I can see this or not. Oh, it's gone. The chat's disappeared. And the phone's not accepting any of my clicks, because why would it? Okay, folks, here we go. If you were here yesterday, you might have seen me fall asleep. Whoops. Now, I've had some people saying that it was alcohol. Now, I was drinking, but I think it was just tiredness. I'd been awake all Saturday night. I'd been awake, what was it? I watched Scruff Dog, and then a couple of YouTube videos, and then Ethan Van Sciver, what do you call his thing? TrampCast. I think he stole the name from me. I think it was my TrampCast that he took the name from. Not really. We both took the name from Flashcast. But yeah, I mean, I fell asleep live on the stream. It came over me real sudden. I mean, if you watch that, I've left it up. It's a little bit embarrassing. But I was yawning and yawning and yawning. I mean, I really... I've watched it back. I don't think I sounded drunk. I don't think I was slurring. I don't think there was anything like that. I just crashed. And my friend Karen rang me and kind of woke me up so that I could end the stream without sitting there too long. Thank you, Karen, again. Okay, folks. This is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Down and out, homeless, a tramp, a hobo, indigent, a person of no fixed abode, living rough on the streets, or in my case, in a fucking field. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do the numbers and all of that other stuff again. That we did the numbers, we did the thank yous, and as part of the getting to know you, I would like to suggest that you all, after this, or maybe not directly after this show, but at some point in the next week, if you haven't watched it in a while, go back and watch TrampCast 001, my first live stream. I watched it yesterday. I couldn't stop watching it. I had stuff I was supposed to be doing, but I just I sat and rewatched. It's almost a year now since I think it's September. A few months, 2 or 3 months from now, it'll be a year, and I thoroughly enjoyed rewatching it. It's a little bit immodest of me to say so, but I quite like watching me. So, for example, I watched last night's stream again, twice, I think, overnight, just to see whether it was the booze that knocked me out or whether I was just tired. Today we're sponsored by, not really, I paid for it, but Steinberg Suave. Smooth. Suave means smooth in Spanish. Steinberg is, I think it's Mercadona's own brand of beer. I've just been, okay. Yeah, I'll say this. I've just been and spent my last 10 euros in the world. Potatoes, onions, carrots, and I bought one of those little stewing packs. It tends to have like a bit of turnip, some carrot, some leek, some it's like a starter for putting in a stew. Chop it all up, put it in the pot, and you're halfway there, aren't you? You've got most of your veg covered. So I bought one of those, 3 kilos of potatoes. Quite expensive. You pay 30 cents per kilo extra if you're only buying 3 kilogram packs. And they didn't have a 5 kilogram pack, so I didn't really have any choice. I just had to buy. You can only buy what's there, can't you? If it's not there, you can't buy it. What do you do? So I've just. I calculated it all out. I had 50 or 60 cents to spare. I bought 2 cans of beer with the last of my money. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. The potatoes, the onions, the carrots, I'll get a month out of those if I haven't eaten them in the meantime. I've got something bubbling away in the crock pot, in the slow cooker at the minute. It's been cooking all day. Basically, it was thinly sliced potatoes in oil. If you saw my cookery video the other day, basically it's that in the same oil, the oil that was left in the pan. Cooked that for a few hours and then stuck in some tomato, some tuna, 2 tins of tuna. 1 tin was just tuna in oil, 1 was in the tomato sauce, and I put a carton of tomato frito in there, fried tomato. A few sprinkled some lentils over the top. They'll draw the liquid, they'll draw the moisture from the tomatoes, and the lentils will swell and cook. That's today. A little bit of cooking, shopping with my last money, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay, folks. So, like I said, I'd like you, if you get a chance, go and watch TrampCast 001. It's, if I do say so myself, and I do, I thought it was quite entertaining. It's my backstory. If you weren't here, if you weren't one of my first 100 or 200 subscribers, I think I'd been promising people I would tell them my backstory, the who, what, when, where, whys of how I became a tramp, a homeless guy. It's all there. Now, if you're one of the authorities, if you're Oscar or Eduardo, and you want to know more, watch TrampCast 001. I don't go off at you in that one like I did yesterday. I get quite angry when I think about you guys, the authorities here. I think you've done me bad. I know some of you think you're trying to help, but you're hurting. But TrampCast 001 was from before all that, so I don't rail at you like I did yesterday. Watch it, guys. It's the backstory, it's the history, it's the who, what, when, where, whys. Is that Karen? I can only just... Sorry, I see that something popped up and it's gone before I see it. I don't even know what these symbols mean on the YouTube app, and the chat just fades away. My screen isn't taking my clicks anyway. I don't know what to do, folks. My phone's on its way out. It doesn't like the heat. I think what's happening, I think these touch screens are a series of layers of glass and electronics, and I think the heat, because I'm in a tent, it gets hot. And through the day, in order to see, I have to turn the brightness up full, which that's extra power in the screen, extra light, extra heat. And the phone's becoming a little bit, when I'm using it, somewhere between 30 seconds and 5 minutes, I have to off and on again so that it starts responding to touch. If I don't do that, it just loses the plot. Yeah, I'm clicking and there's nothing happening. I'd have to turn the phone off and on, and I'd lose the stream. So I'm sorry. I'm always sorry, but I always struggle with the chat in the YouTube app. I want to do something that's not in the YouTube app. I'm going to look into whether I can switch to StreamYards or Streamlabs or one of the other streaming softwares, and not use the YouTube app. Just give them the address of the stream. But that's all technical stuff that you don't need to worry about. I don't know it yet. I make this up as I go. Cheers. Okay, folks. So yesterday we got through all of this, all the preamble. We did the numbers. We did the thank yous, thanking people who'd helped since the last, all the donations since the last TrampCast. We covered the themes, and we just started on the week. I think we'd got as far as, I think we'd done the Sunday and the Monday, and we were in the Tuesday. I'll just recap quickly, and we'll begin. I'll just recap and we'll cover them again, if that's all right with you. So, last Sunday, my friend Karen stopped by, and we did the haircut and the beard trim thing. And I'm going to get the clippers out. She left the clippers here. She left them with me, and because I've got electricity now, I can charge them. I'm gonna run them over again and have another crop any day now. But last Sunday morning, Karen came round and did the Sean thing. She Seaned me. Seaned? Sean is past tense. You can't do Seaned, can you? That's a failed neologism, I think. I don't think that's a new word that's going to work. She sheared me. She clipped me. She. I don't know, folks. What can I say? I tried to make a new word and it didn't work. So that was Sunday, haircut and beard trim. Monday, Joby, my mate, the guy who used to live in a tent under a tree back here, he got in touch on Monday. Tuesday, he sent me an email. I didn't see it. He sent me an email saying, I'm coming round tomorrow morning. I didn't see his email. Tuesday was also the day that, Monday, let's just go back one. Ismo brought a 12 pack of beer. Me and my mate Ismo sat here and downed six beers each in the afternoon. That's the same Ismo that came yesterday and brought beer. Yesterday he brought beer from Finland because he'd left his car. He set off from Finland to drive to Spain, and his car broke down in Germany. So he had to leave the car and its contents. And its contents was a cooler with beer. You know, it's in a pattern, guys. You know, it's in a pattern. My mate Ismo. Cheers, Ismo. Ismo, Finlandia. Well, he went back. He came here on Tuesday and we Monday, and we had some beers. And he took a plane back to Germany a couple of days ago. 3 days ago, I think. Took a plane back to Germany to pick up his car. He took brake shoes, they're called, aren't they? The metallic things, the clamps that go around the wheel to slow it down when you brake. That was what was wrong with his car. Something had gone wrong with the brakes. So he took brake shoes and brake fluid in a suitcase back to Germany. And he went to the airport car park, slept in his car overnight because he got there late, and then he did his repair first thing in the morning and set off, and he drove back here, and he arrived here live on stream yesterday and brought me, was it 4 beers or 5 beers, whatever it was, and that's my mate Ismo. This morning, didn't know he was doing this. I knew he was doing it soon, but I didn't know he was doing it today. This morning, I get a plink from him, on Messenger. I'm at Alicante Airport. I fly Finland. If you watched, if you followed the story, Ismo had a bereavement, the death in the family recently, and he hasn't seen his family in the flesh since. So he's gone back to to be with family, as you do at times like that. That's my mate Ismo. So last Monday, Joby got in touch, and then Ismo brought beer, and we had beers. Tuesday, I didn't really have any notes, but this was the day with the literal. If you've seen the video, maybe about a month ago, where I had 20, I think is it a 24 pack of eggs, almost untouched, and I'd had them a long time, and I did the float thing, put them in water to see if they sank to the bottom, and two of them had gone bad at that stage. But a month later, of the eggs that were remaining, I'd had some in the meantime, obviously, just not that many, because I've been eating sandwiches, bread and chorizo, or bread and cheese, maybe with a barbecue sauce or a alioli. Just haven't been cooking or doing anything too fancy food-wise. I've been too basic and too simple. But my eggs, they were in a drawer in my bedroom. They were in a chest of drawers, second to bottom drawer. Bottom drawer's bust, the front's come off. But they were in there low down, so they're cool. You know, the tent gets hot in the day, and you can feel the temperature gradient between up here, and down low. You can feel how much cooler it is compared to up high. So the eggs were in a drawer low, and they're old, and I started kind of smelling, you know, one or two of the eggs had gone bad, and actually one or two had cracked, and that's why I could smell them. So I did the water test with the rest, and most of them were bad. Most of what was left was bad, and I put them back in the carton and carried them back inside while I did something else. As I got back inside, one of them, literally, it fucking exploded. Bang! There was a bang, and there's that pungent smell. An egg literally fucking exploded on me. Fortunately, it was inside a drawer when it did. No. Yeah, I just had to cope with the smell. But I've never had an egg explode before. You know, I've heard stories of people putting them in microwaves and things and having stuff go wrong. But that was new. That was new. Having an egg literally go with a bang. I mean, we went quite fierce. I'm glad I wasn't. I'm glad it was inside the drawer and not out. I had a bit of cleaning up to do. I had to wipe it down and you know, wet a cloth and wipe the inside of the drawer out. There were clothes in there as well, but it exploded outwards in a different direction. No big problem. So that was Tuesday. So I think this is about where we got to when I fell asleep yesterday. We were somewhere here on the Tuesdays and Wednesdays. My mate Miguel. Okay, so Wednesday, Joby came around. The guy that used to live in the tent here, and I'd folded his tent down, and I'd dismantled his tent and snaffled his belongings, put them in my tent for safekeeping, in the hope that they'd be my things. I was part protect. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where he was. I didn't know what was happening. Excuse me. Steinberg burps. I didn't know what was happening. He disappeared on me, and I was worried for the first week or two. I was worried for his health and whether he'd been arrested or whether he was ill and whether he'd fallen in a ditch or something. But he got in touch, and then he sent me this email. I didn't see the email that said he was coming around, so the first thing I knew, he was here Wednesday morning. And it was a bit of a rainy morning. It rained on and off while he was here. He had a kind of a shopping trolley, you know, the old lady shopping trolley, not a supermarket trolley, but the one that you take when you go shopping and you put, you know, with the bag on the trolley. He had that, but without the bag, and he'd come for his stuff. But we had a nice chat. We spent 3 or 4 hours just chewing the fat, gossiping, hearing of his exploits and where he's ended up, and he's a few miles that way, a bit down south from here. But walkable distance. It took him a couple of hours to walk here, a couple of hours to walk back with his stuff. Because I had to dig his stuff. I'd embedded his belongings, like because the police were here and it looked like they might push me out. I'd built like a go bag, and I'd got my kind of my escape kit, if you like, ready. But his tent formed part of that, because my small tent is bright orange, bought for me by subscriber 100. I thought it was 200, but I checked back and it's 100. My 100 subscribers, they bought me a tent that I've never actually used, but I've maintained it as my emergency, my backup tent. But it is bright orange, which wherever I end up, if I end up in some kind of emergency situation where I have to move rapidly, bright orange might be suboptimal. It might be less than ideal. So his tent is a bit more discreet, a bit better, and he's got this black tarp that fits over the top. So I'd put his things, his tent, his sleeping bag, the tarp, and other things into, and his cook stove, his camping stove, his gas camping stove. I'd put those into my survival kit, my go bag, for if I was forced off of here in a rush. Usually, I'm told, when the police move you on, they give you 7 days, 10 days, whatever, to move on. But it's always possible if you were here when they stole all my belongings. They can be capricious. They can just come and just do, There's no rules with these guys. So you have to be prepared in case. What if they just turn up and tell me, go now. Take what you can carry and go. I have a bag ready for that eventuality. And for a while, for a couple of weeks there, it featured his tent and his sleeping bag. Now he's come back and reclaimed them. Hey, so that was Wednesday, my mate Joby. And he is my mate. I was in a little bit of doubt when he disappeared, and I had it in my mind that he'd gone back to England without talking, without saying anything. I was a little bit in two minds as to whether he was my friend or not. I had doubts, because who would do that? But he's explained the situation. He'd gone for a walk. He was looking for an alternate area. He'd taken his stuff with him in case he found somewhere. While he was there, he fell, twisted his ankle and hurt his leg badly, and was stuck there for 2 or 3 weeks with a bad leg. Once he could move around, he found some other guys. One of them had internet, and he contacted me, and then he came to see me. So we're all good, friends again. If we ever weren't, I think we were. But that's my mate Joby. That's his nickname. It's not a real name. In the same way that I'm not Delta Mike. I'm not Mike at all. If you watched yesterday's stream, you'll have heard my real name. It's in there. I doxed myself a few times. There was one stream where I doxed myself about 3 times in 5 minutes. There have been streams where people from my hometown in the UK have come and doxed me accidentally by way of, what town I lived in. It's all good. There's no deception. There's no real secret. It's just, you're told when you start a YouTube channel, you need. It's like Beyonce. She has like this alter ego when she goes on. She's this. Normally, she's this kind of. I'm not gonna say weak, but she's this softly spoken, quiet little lady. And then when she goes on stage, she's Sasha Fierce. She has this persona. And I guess I did the same. Delta Mike is a persona. All of that, and from Tina and from me, Delta Mike, out. It's performative. It's a performance. It's not hiding anything. It's not. There's nothing surreptitious about it. There's nothing. I'm not hiding anything from you. It's just that I'm normally a quiet, shy guy, and so to come on camera and it amazes me that I can do this, guys. This, just me doing this is. It's quite a buzz because I would never believe I could do this. Yesterday, I didn't think I had. I wrote out my notes and I thought I haven't got enough here to talk for more than half an hour. And I was 2.5 hours in and I'd not started talking about the fucking week I was talking about. I'd spent 2.5 hours talking about the numbers, because episode 32. So we talk about some things to do with 32. The thank yous from the last episode till this. Themes of the week and just general chat. 2.5 hours and I'd not even started talking about the fucking week I was supposed to talk about. How do I do that? I've got no idea. Literally, I have no idea how I do this. Alcohol helps. To those of you that are offended by alcohol, I can't help you. Tough shit. Second and final can. I had 50 or 60 cents left at the end of my shopping. It's my last money in the world, so it's my last beer. What would you spend your last 60 cents on? Here's an exercise for you guys. Have you ever done this? Have you ever been in this situation? You're down to your last 10 pounds, dollars, euros, whatever your currency is. You've got something that's maybe 1 or 2 hours worth. If you were working, it's the money you would get from an hour's work, maybe. It's your last money in the world. Go. What are you buying? What are you doing? What are you buying? Have you been in that situation? It's happened to me multiple times while I've been, this last year or two while I've been homeless. It happened once or twice in life prior to that. I think I told the tale once about when I would be in my early 20s. I went to university and my wife was in hospital. And I was visiting her in hospital every day, having to either walk there or catch a bus. And I was going to university. And I walked this, 4 or 5 miles to Lancaster Uni from where I lived. And I was walking home and I stopped off at the hospital to visit my wife. And when I was there, she asked for a couple of bits and pieces. And I went to Wilko, the shop, Wilkinson's, the, I don't know what you call it, department store. They sell bits and pieces, mainly hardware, but other stuff as well. So I went to Wilko, and I'm walking around the shop, and I see, I've got my last £10 in my pocket, and I'm buying bits and pieces for the missus. And I see a £20 note on the floor, and I do what you do, you're all surreptitious. Put my foot on the note, bent down, pretending I was picking, tying my laces, pick the note and put it in my pocket. I walk around the shop quite pleased with myself because I'm on my last £10 in the world. I'm spending 5, 6, 7, whatever, however many pounds on stuff for my wife while she's in hospital. Biscuits, crisps, I don't know, a few bits and pieces, sweets. And I get to the till. I got my £10, what's a euros? My £10 that I'm going to buy this, and I've got the £20 that I've found on the floor. And there's this kid crying by the till because he's lost his money. His mum sent him to the shop, and he's lost You know, he's dropped £20, and he's in tears. But I'm on my last money in the world, and for half a second I was torn. Keep it, don't keep it. But I said to the cashier, you know, hey, I just found this, and I handed the £20 to the cashier, and she calls the kid over. He gets his money, and you know, the bloody phone wouldn't take my touch. He told me that it disconnected, and it would give me buttons, try reconnecting or end stream, and I'm pressing and pressing, and it's not doing anything. I have to press hard. I don't know how much of that you lost. I was just saying about how moments like that, where you're tested, where you're tempted to do the wrong thing, to keep the money. Sod the kid. My £20. No. It flickered across my mind for half a second, but I couldn't do that to the kid. I couldn't do that. It's not the right thing to do, is it? So I don't know. That's a tangent. How did we get there? How did we get there? I can't backtrack. I'm not sure what. There's obviously a tangent from a tangent from a tangent. Doing the right thing, being tested, being down to your last money, spending your last money. That's where it. That's how we got there, wasn't it? Spending your last money. And have you ever been in that situation? I'm sure many of you have. I'm sure some of you never have. And I hope you never are. But if you're ever down to your last £10, euros, dollars, you got to think carefully. You got to shop carefully. You're going to buy the basics, buy the staples. 3 kilograms of potatoes might last me a couple of weeks. Onions, everything you cook, you're going to put onion in, almost everything. Carrots are nice to have. That'll bulk it out and be sweet. So that was what I bought, and that was most of the money, and that left, like I said, 50 or 60 cents for Tina girl. Tina, leave the people alone. Hey, Tina girl. Hey, babe. Tina girl. Can I'm not sure I can do the switch about. I'm not sure I can do the turnaround thing with the camera. Is it taking my touch? I can't see the bloody screen. I wouldn't know if it has or it hasn't. There we go. I can see the cloth dryer. So there must be a Tina over there somewhere. Tina girl. Hey, talk to the peoples. Hey, come here. Come here. That's my Tina girl. She's taupe. She's Are we back on me where we belong? I can't see a fucking thing. I think so. I think it's on me. I'll find out later when I watch this back. Yeah, I can see the glasses. Okay. Eric Morecambe. Okay, folks. That's my Tina girl. She's tied to a tent peg at the minute. But the tent pegs are not great, and the ground's hard, and the tent pegs all bend, and it's all a bit tricky. I'll have to go check on my cooking shortly as well, because every now and again, because it's burning through the power quicker than it's coming in, so the battery gets low, then it turns off, then it charges over time, and it doesn't come back on until I do it manually. Turn the slow cooker back on. Cooking with electricity in a field when you're a tramp. No generator, just a solar panel and an EcoFlow. EcoFlow Revert 2. For those of you, I would have loved to have had an EcoFlow Delta. That would have been my my optimal solution. Fantastic hardware, good company in terms of hardware. Their firmware and their software are diabolical, and their support is... So these things are designed in America but built in China. Chinesium. Their software is pants. I mean, it really, really is. I'd almost be recommending a different company instead, if it wasn't for the fact that the hardware itself is so good. I'd almost say you can't go wrong with EcoFlow, but I went wrong the first time I pushed the button to update the firmware. And they left me dangling, and they wanted me to connect the box to the internet permanently so that they could tap in and do things from their end. I'm in a field. There is no fucking internet. There is, but only when I share my phones. When I do the Wi-Fi hotspot thing. Anyway, folks, let's roll back. Before I started talking about spending my last money, I think we were talking about Wednesday and how Joby was here and how it was raining on and off. We had thunder and lightning, but for a while we had thunder and lightning and no rain, which I've never experienced that before I came to Spain. In England, if you've got thunder and lightning, then it's going to rain. I mean, let's face it, you're in England, it's just going to rain. Here in Spain, you can have thunder and lightning for 4 hours and not get a drop of rain. It's quite a common thing. It's off in the distance, you know. You can sometimes count like 20 seconds between the thunder and the lightning, between the lightning and the thunder, the flash and the bang. 5 seconds is 1 mile. 3 seconds is 1 kilometer for you metric folk. The time, so you can count and know how far away it is. You do the maths. Base it on the speed of sound is 750 miles an hour at sea level, approximately. You know, you do the maths based on that. You work it through. Simplify the calculation by just assuming that light is instantaneous. You don't, because light will travel 7 times around the Earth in 1 second. So 5 miles, 6 miles, you know, 10. It's instantaneous to you. Flash. That's the explosion, and then you just start counting, waiting until you hear the bang, and that gives you the distance. Here in Spain, like I said, we get. You can count 20, sometimes 30 seconds between the flash and the bang. I don't remember ever seeing that in the UK. I don't remember ever having lightning and thunder without rain. I don't know. There's a time when we had flashes and bangs and there was no rain, but we were in Cleethorpes in a caravan, and RAF Donnanook was around the corner in Lincolnshire, and it was a missile testing range. The flashes and bangs had nothing to do with weather. It was nothing to do with rain. We drove there. We went there, and there's a bay and sand and landing craft from World War II landing craft. They tested them out. They did manoeuvres there for crews for D-Day, ready for D-Day landings. And where the landing craft went wrong, you know, they're there in the sand, stuck out in sea. Mussels growing on the side, you know, the shellfish, and also the seals or sea lions come running in when the tide comes in. But like I said, those flashes and bangs had nothing. Missile testing range. Those flashes and bangs had nothing to do with lightning. Okay, so Joby was here Wednesday. Joby was here. It was raining on and off. We had thunder, we had lightning. We chatted, we talked. He's trying to persuade me to move over Los Balcones kind of area, over that way towards what do they call it? Orwella. Orwella. He wants me to kind of move that way, but not to his place because the guy that he's sharing with doesn't like dogs. He's petrified of dogs. Now it sounds like the place that Joby's found. It sounds like it's beautiful. It sounds ideal. I mean, they've got a roof, corrugated tin. I think it's a car park. The way he describes it, he thinks it must have been a car park at some point, but he doesn't know what for. So imagine a car park with the corrugated tin roofs, and then other people at points have built like they've walled the place off with mattresses, stand mattresses on the sides to create walls and create rooms, and it's boxed off, and it's there's a lot of crap there. I mean, it's been used. It's been used by people on and off for a long time by all accounts. There's a lot of crap just piled up there. But they've got electricity. Don't tell anybody. But I can't go there because dog. But if I have to move from here, the way he's explaining it, that way seems to be the way to go. Go south rather than north. If I ever have to move. Personally, I'm kind of happy where I am. I think I dropped when I found this place 21 months ago, whatever it was, October the 10th. I'll always remember that date because it's my ex's birthday. I woke up that morning in the park and men turned up with chainsaws to trim the trees that had my things stored under. I moved here and then we had a flood that night. This path that runs through it's not a path, it's a dry riverbed. This is where the water comes when it rains. And I was an idiot. I wasn't thinking. I slept there the first night and there was a thunderstorm. And everything got ruined, everything got wet. Ankle deep. It was like a wave. It went from just being wet with rain to an actual wave of water coming down the riverbed. Ankle deep. Ruined everything. Everything I had. My Kindle. My phone. So Kindle book reader, Kindle Fire, the Amazon tablet, and my phone. All wiped out. I had 3 power banks, 2 of which were wiped out by the water ingress into the electronics. So I wasn't immediately in love with this place. But as far as I can tell and as far as I've been told, this is private land. The owner hasn't complained about me being here. The police keep trying to move me on, but they have no right because it's private, not public. Every now and again they come along and they make this big performance about taking my details and they're going to go see a judge. And it never goes anywhere. So whether that's a performance on their part, whether that's performative, or whether they go before a judge and get rejected because it's not public land, they don't have a say. I don't know. I don't know which way it is. But I've been here this long. It's not my plan to move on. I don't think I'm hurting the area. I don't think I'm hurting anybody. I don't think I'm doing anybody any harm. Loads of people, locals, will come and they bring me food, they bring me water, they bring me, I don't know. Sometimes they just stop by for a chat, come and talk. That's always nice. A Swedish guy the other day, Jocke. The pronunciation is going to be all wrong. I think it's just Joker. I think that's his nickname. I don't think it's a real name. But the Swedish and the Norwegian, they have these vowels that we don't have. So he says his name, I say it back, I think exactly, and he kind of tries to correct me because And I can't hear the difference. He's saying, no, you're saying it wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm saying it exactly how he's saying it. But he says, no, Yokka. I don't fucking know. But they came and they brought like a new collar for Tina. She'd been the one that, some people a couple of weeks ago. Who was it? Aaron and Jody? Aaron and Jody? They brought Tina a new collar. After I was arrested and the dogs got loose and the police kicked the dogs. Bastards. That I will not put up with. I can understand someone being frightened of dogs. I can understand them thinking that my dog's going to bite them or whatever. Thinking that. She's not. She might snap near them, but she doesn't actually bite. But they kicked her. That is something up with which I will not put, as a bloke called Churchill once said. Up with which I will not put. And she's struggling to walk now. Her back legs are, it's kind of like they're arthritic and sometimes they collapse under her. Now that might have been a pre-existing condition mildly, but it's been exacerbated. It's certainly, I don't know, poor thing. Poor thing. I won't, I got no truck with that. You kick my dog, I'll smack you even if you're a policeman. I will fucking smack you if I see you kick my dog. And if I'm in a position to intervene. If I'm already in handcuffs as I was that day. Papers please, says the man from the council. I'm here from the government, I'm here to help. Papers please. 6 cops come running down the field to arrest me because I don't have papers. Don't get me started again. Don't. Let's not go there again. I did that yesterday. I went off on one. Okay, going back. Joby was here. It was Wednesday. It was raining. There was thunder and lightning. Eventually, Joby left, and he took it. He strapped all of his belongings. He strapped them to the trolley that he had, his old lady shopping trolley, and off he went. He sent me a few pictures on the way home of possible places that I might like to investigate should I ever need to move off or well away. But nice to have options. It's just not on my plans for now. So this day, the Wednesday, this was when I recorded the thunder and lightning video, the storm. The weather app said that there was an oncoming storm, big bad weather. And if you've been here from the beginning, you would know that that's how this channel started. A year ago, just over a year ago, beginning of May, 12 months ago, we had the weather forecast app showed 12 days of thunder and lightning. Storms every day for 12 days. And I wasn't even in a tent. Go watch my first video. That's a good one. Good one to watch. Go to the channel. If you click my name, if you click the Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja, click that and go to the channel. And when you're on and click onto the videos page and sort them by oldest, click the button for oldest. And the first one you see, the first 2 are fantastic actually. But the first one was obviously, it was the first. It was the beginning of my channel. I'd never made a video before. I'd never edited a video. I'd never done anything. I'd never recorded shit. I recorded these clips. It was me cooking a stew, a chicken flavoured stew, because I didn't have any chicken. I had chicken stock cubes. I had potatoes, onions, carrots, whatever. Yeah, watch the video. Maybe mushrooms, onion, I don't know. Go watch it. It's a cookery video, basically. It was an introduction to me, and it was cookery, and it showed my shelter at the time. Get this. 6 broom handles, mop handles, hammered into the ground. 3 this side, 3 that side. And a tarpaulin thrown away by a builder, so what, ripped and you know, it's got holes and what have you, thrown over the top. And that would have left a concave roof. And that's no good when it rains. You want convex. You want it. So I took two branches, tied them to stakes, hammered stakes into the ground, took the 2 branches and bent them over and tied them off, and that created the arch for the roof. I had 2 arches and 6 broom handles and an old tarp. Now I tell a lie. The tarp I had originally, I'd had an old tarp thrown away by a builder. That had gone through in February, and 2 fantastic people up the road, Nige and Kath. Nige and Kath. Haven't seen them in a while. I think they fell out with me. We'll get into that. I'll explain. But Nige and Kath brought me the same day. They saw that this tarp had gone through in the middle of a thunderstorm, and they came that day and they gave me a new tarp. I thought, how fortunate that these people just happened to have a tarp laying around. I'm an idiot. They'd been to the Chino Bazaar, Grand Bazaar El Zocco, and they'd bought a new tarp. Bloody price sticker. I found the outer. I was so keen just to unwrap the thing and get it up and on. That day, I didn't see the price tag and what have you on the wrapper. I didn't see which shop it came from. I just thought, how fortunate am I that my neighbours here just happen to have a brand new tarpaulin. I can be a fucking numpty sometimes, guys. You might have noticed, you know. Sometimes I'm a bit slow on the uptake. It was I think it's 3 days later, the pack had been blowing around in the wind, and I'd picked it up out of the field here, and you know, oh, I'll bin that, and I saw the price, and I saw the name tag from the shop. But these beautiful people that helped me out that day, and for a few months afterwards, every couple of weeks, Nige would bring me over a meal, a Sunday meal that Kath had cooked. You know, some extra that they'd got lying around. They brought me some food, whatever they'd had for their Sunday lunch, every 2nd or 3rd week. And I'm chatting with Nige, and I must have explained this wrong. I was telling him how I've got money in the bank, and I must have made it sound like I'm just choosing to be here and not spend my money. I must have left that impression, because that was the last time we spoke. That was the last time. They didn't bring any meals over. We haven't been in touch. They've ignored me and ever since. So I must have explained that really badly. So for any of you that are new and don't know the law, the backstory, the history. Before I came to Spain, I moved some money out of my main account into a separate emergency fund, a separate account just for emergencies. 7,500. My bank, because I never touched the money, because it was my rainy day fund, it wasn't there for using day in, day out. My bank declared the account dormant, and it's closed. You can't touch it until I present. I have to walk into the branch. I have to walk into my bank in England, into that specific branch, and present me and my passport. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm homeless. My bank came up with this ridiculous procedure that I can't fulfill, because if I try and leave the country, they arrest me. So I can't leave the country. I can't go to the bank and get my money. I can't get my money to contest the court case and get a proper lawyer, not just be shuffled through the system by the conveyor belt public defending idiots. But I must have explained this in such a way that I left Nige with the impression that I had money and I was here by choice, and therefore he's thinking, why am I bringing this guy food and water and helping? I must have just explained it really badly. I don't know. Anyway, Wednesday. Shall we go back to Wednesday? And Joby had been here and we'd had thunder and lightning. Joby's left. Thunder and lightning at night, and it rains. And I did the video. I did a bad weather video, which, like I said, was the beginning of this channel. Bad weather in May and June. So Thursday morning I released that video. And I was chatting with one of you guys or girls, a lady called Louise. And I was being a little bit ponderous. I was trying to reach a decision about whether or not to start banning people from the channel. So guys, the channel has two purposes. It's documenting my life, my struggle, my Kampf. Whoops. I just went a bit far right. Adolf. You don't meet many Adolfs anymore. I wonder why not. It's like there's no ladies called Myra anymore. Where'd those names go? Oops. My struggle. So documenting my struggle. That's one, the documenting. But also, the channel is a cry for help. So that I don't go begging in the street, putting a cap down and you know, begging literally. I'm seeking help. I'm looking for help and assistance, donations. It's the reason that I put the tent where I did. That the reason that I chose here rather than back there under trees where no one would ever see me. I wanted to make myself available to offers of help. I knew I needed help. You know, no man is an island. I'm homeless. I've got no skills I'm good with computers. I'm good with websites. These are not skills that you can utilize while you're homeless. My mate who can play a guitar and go busking, you know, he can make 10 or 15 euros an hour from busking. I haven't got that. I'm musically challenged. My skills don't transfer to, you know, to helping people who are just walking past. I got nothing when it comes to that. So my channel is me putting myself out there, documenting my struggles, and being open to help. I don't often outright ask for help. I put myself out there in the hopes that people will offer help, and I accept the help when it's offered. So after the Guardia Civil stole my barbecue and gas bottle, my pans, my plates, my knives, forks, my cutlery, my bowls, everything, you know, you guys stepped up and people started bringing me, here's a pan, here's a few pans, here's a plastic box for storing food and it's full of knives, forks, spatulas and fish slices and corkscrews and peelers, veg peelers, everything, veg peelers. People step up, people help. So that's how I view my channel. It's here to help me. It's to document, but also it's like an implicit plea for help without me begging for help. But what happened recently, I got a slew, I got a whole load of new subscribers. And when I was approaching 900, I was on like 880, 885, something like that. And I put out some messages saying, hey, we're going to hit 900 soon. And we shot right past 900 and went straight to 930, whatever. But a lot of the guys that came along were very negative, calling me all the names under the sun, calling me a liar, a con man, a grifter. I hope that if you've been here a while, if you've seen me dealing with rats and mice, you've seen I am here, I am living here in a field. It's not a lie. I don't know where some of them get these ideas. But I've, historically, I have a free speech mentality. I'm open to people being critical of me. Criticize any of my decisions. Pick a decision I've made. Look back at TrampCast 001 where I explain how I'm here and why I'm here illegally, how that happened. I detail it. I detail my bad decisions. I'm not expecting anyone to just accept me and just, I explain how it happened, why it happened. I explain my mistakes. You don't end up living in a field because one thing in your life goes wrong. There's a chain of things go wrong. Chain of bad decisions or some accidents, some bad decisions, rumors, and you lose your whole friend group because rumors go around and everyone calls you a liar. And because it's people close to you calling you a liar, the rumor is kind of believed. But you don't end up just living in a field just because somebody doesn't believe you about something. There's a whole chain of things, and some of them were me. Some of them I got things wrong. I came to Spain, and at the 3-month mark, where I should have been registering for residencia and NIE, it was called at the time. It's now TIE, isn't it, for Brits? At the point I should have been doing that, the Brexit vote was about to happen the next month. And I hesitated. I paused. Didn't know how things were going to work out. Wanted to know what's what before doing paperwork. It's a wrong decision. Bureaucracy doesn't like you to just leave things a month longer than you should. Then once I'd left it too long, the Brexit vote happened, even more uncertainty, nobody knows what's happening. It took 2 years for them to resolve all that crap. But I've been here more than the 3 months where I should have registered and done the things. It got away from me, guys. I made a mistake, I hesitated, I paused when I shouldn't. Bureaucracy doesn't like that, and I got it wrong. And things snowball from there. Then COVID happens and banks, and I couldn't get cards, and then when I tried to go to my backup fund, my emergency fund, my rainy day fund, that bank has pulled the plug and closed that account and doesn't accept I'm me. And it's COVID and it's all the rest of it, and it's all 7.5 grand in the bank, and here I am living in a fucking field. Yeah. And in large part, my own fault, my mistakes. I didn't keep, if I'd done a transaction once or twice a year, that bank wouldn't have closed that account. If I'd done the paperwork on time and got my NIE number and everything, that would have been different. I would have still been evicted when my bank, well, if the bank had not closed that account, I would have still had my money, but I don't know. It's like I'm the richest tramp in the world. I got 7.5 grand. And these are pounds, that's proper real money. None of your dollars or euros shit. This is proper real money. Coin of the realm. Pounds. 7,500. And my bank won't let me have it. And I'm living in a fucking field. Made mistakes. Don't deny that. But the negativity from some, the ones that just call me a liar, the ones that arrive and just say, he's lying, there's no second bank account, it's all bullshit. I've let that ride because of my own free speech ethos. But no more. The negativity got to me. This channel, it's my channel. It's my online home. It is where I am communicating to my audience and where I seek help. Somewhere for me to turn when I'm stuck. If you're not with me, if you're against me, you're gone. I accept criticism. You can query my decisions. You can tell me what I did wrong and where I went wrong, and I'll listen to that. I accept some of it. But if you come here and you call me a liar, then you're gone. I will be banning people from now on. You will disappear from the channel. The channel will be off limits to you. This is my home. As Tarzan used to say in the cartoon, this is my domain. I rule here. Help, support is welcome. Criticism is accepted. Push it too far, you're gone. So I was talking with Louise was that Wednesday night? And that's when I reached that conclusion that was the right decision. Despite it being against my personal ethos. This was the dissonance. It's called dissonance, isn't it? You can have two conflicting thoughts at the same time in your head. And it's uncomfortable. I'm all for free speech. I think people should be allowed to say and say and speak their mind. So closing that down, when someone is totally against me, when someone's calling me names, when someone's calling me a liar or a con man, I'm not totally happy with closing that down. So it's going to be a tightrope, it's going to be a balancing act. But if you're one of the negative Nellies, if you're here to do me harm, I'm in a precarious state, folks. I have to tell you this. Emotionally, mentally, physically, like I'm living in a fucking field. There are rats. There's mice. There's cats and dogs. There's drunks. 2 and 3 in the morning walking past. There's the police. There's the harassment from the authorities. I'm in a difficult position. And negativity could push me, well, theoretically it could push me over the edge, couldn't it? I say theoretically, I'm quite a strong-minded, strong-willed person. There's not too much chance of me doing anything self-deletion wise. The thoughts cross my mind at times when I've been through hassle. The thought's there, but it quickly gets dismissed. Most of the time. Most of the time. But I'm not going to let negative Nellies, I'm not going to let people who haven't even bothered to watch the backstory. Watch my first half a dozen videos or watch TrampCast 001. Get the backstory. If you haven't even done that, your opinion kind of doesn't count. But as I said, the channel it's here for me. It's for me, it's for my benefit. Hopefully one day I can make some money out of it. If I get above 1,000 subscribers and get monetized properly, Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Wednesday night. Thunder, lightning, rain. Did a video. That was Wednesday night. Thursday morning, released the video from the night before. Also went and did a walk along the cliff tops and did a nature video. Did just a morning walkies with the dog and a hey, look at the sea and isn't everything nice and look how sunny it is and blah blah. So suddenly, from not having made a video for what, 3 weeks, something like that, was it? 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Suddenly, I made 3 videos in one day. I came back here on the Thursday. I edited the nature video and released that, and then I did the garlic potato cookery video. Cooking with a tramp or cooking with a hobo. I haven't done one in ages because they stole my fucking barbecue. I keep asking this question. By what right can they just take my belongings? No court order, no paperwork, no receipt, no appeals process, no way of getting my stuff back. Eduardo Delon, Mayor of Torrevieja. Tell me that that's not government overreach. Without any kind of paperwork or court order, your police just pull up and put all my shit in a dustbin wagon. I'm not going to get too sidetracked. Eduardo, you made an enemy. That's all I have to say on the matter today. More later. So I released this video and I did the cookery and I you know, and this is all suddenly 3 videos in 18 hours. Because the weight of my mind, once I decided I'm going to ban the negative element, I'm going to ban the negatives. It's like it'd been sitting, compressing me, been a weight on my shoulders for weeks. And it was this dissonance, this contradiction between my personal beliefs about free speech and my needs personally. But once it was resolved, I chatted with Louise that night, and once that Wednesday, and once it was resolved, poof, poof, and away we go. Bang, 3 videos, one day. That's not bad. Not bad for a tramp. Steinberg, Suave. If you want to advertise here, get in touch. Okay. Thursday, this is where Jocke, the Swedish guy, this is where he first he's been here before. I thought I recognized him, but I'm really bad with names and faces. But Tina ran out of the tent and ran to him, and she wasn't trying to eat him. She was, she was trying to cuddle him. That's my girl. She knows people, you see. She remembers people. She's better at it than I am. So he brought me 2 tortilla wraps, and he brought 2 beers. We had a beer each. We shared a beer, and stood and chatted. Nice guy. Then he came back later in the week. Friday, I released the cookery video. And then, this is when my friend Adela, she anglicizes her name when she's talking with English people. She calls herself Adele. But I do the honor of calling her by her real name, Adela. She brought me some food, like a pot of stew, some bread, and a bag of fruit, which I'm still struggling to get through. Apples and oranges and bananas and peaches. There was all sorts in there. Now this is the lady that I want to do. I'm not in a position to do a GoFundMe or a gift send go. But I want one of you guys to initiate that on my behalf. I'm gonna have a word with a couple of people that I'm in touch with, and she's. As I said this yesterday, she's. She's got her own travails, her own struggles in life. She's coping with an elderly relative who's got dementia. She's applied for benefits and things, but so far she's not getting any. So she's struggling. She can't work because she's having to look after, she's a full-time carer. She can't work, she's not getting benefits, and yet here she is bringing me food. And some of it, my God. She brought me a burger. It was the chunkiest burger, and it was the best burger I've ever had in my life. It was supreme. But she also brought me, in some tin foil, she brought me, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 kind of pork steaks cooked. This is not cheap. This is not cheap rubbish, guys. So there she is, looking after her mum and not earning and not getting any benefits as yet. And yet she's running around, cooking me meals and bringing me the most fantastic burger, the most fantastic steaks, bags of fruit, treats for the dog. I've got so many. She's bringing me treats for the dog faster than I can feed the dog the treats. I got them piling up. Adela, we got to do something, guys. Now, I want to do a gift send go or a whatever the other one's called. I said it a minute ago. Can't remember the name. You know the kind of thing though, the fundraiser thing. Now I haven't got many contacts. I haven't got many followers. I'm not a big YouTuber with 1 million followers or anything. There's less than 1,000 of you out there. But if I can get 10% of you to put a $5 or a $10 in the pot and help Adela, I think that would be an aim. That's worth aiming for. See if we can't get, say, €500 for Adela to help her out. It's not a huge amount. It's not life changing. I'm not looking to revolutionize her life. But when someone's doing something nice for me and they're not even in a position to do it, I think we should try and club together and help back. No? That seems right to me. Anyway, as I was saying, so Adela comes around on Friday with a pot of stew, sausage, bag of fruit, and dog treats. Jokka comes back and brings me Tina brings Tina a nice new leather collar. The collar that people bought her a couple of weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. She seems to be, she's scratching at it a lot. It doesn't. The leather she leaves alone. She hasn't messed with it. So that's nice. What else did he bring? Dog lead, a collar, a new lead, and some dog toys. Everybody loves Tina. Everything's for Tina. Hey babe, it's my Tina girl. Daddy loves his girl. What else? Oh, okay, yeah, no, this was a packed day. So Adele has been, Jokka has been, and then Sven, my friend Sven, who I've been communicating with by email for a couple of months. Sven arrives, and he's celebrating, but I'm not allowed to say what he's celebrating. Non-disclosure agreement, folks. But Sven of Sven and Anna. Sven arrives and he brings me a 12-pack of beer at the start of the weekend, Friday night. Guys, Friday night, I'm always open to visitors. You want to come round Friday evening, late afternoon, early evening. You want to come round and bring a 12-pack of beer, and we can sit and drink, we can sit and drink. I got a message via YouTube this morning. I don't know where people get this because I fell asleep online yesterday. I fell asleep at the end of the stream. Some of you guys are absolute Puritans. You think that a can of beer is the devil's work. Guys, I'm a fucking tramp. I live in a field. My previous shelters and tents have had rats and mice running around inside. I had rats in my bedroom, mice in my bedroom with the last tent. Prior to that, I had rats running in my bed and running through. Yeah, not nice. If I have a bit of spare cash and I buy myself either a box wine, card Bordeaux as we call it in the trade, red wine, Bordeaux, but in cardboard, card Bordeaux. If I have a bit of extra cash, you know that a litre of wine here is just €1, €1.05. If I have a bit of extra cash at the weekend and I buy myself a bit of wine, or if I've got a lot of extra cash and I buy myself a crate of beer, a 12-pack of beer, or someone brings me a 12-pack of beer, I like a beer, I like alcohol, I like a drink. Now, I know the stereotype, wino, you know? I know that these words exist. I like a drink. If I can afford a drink and I've got the spare cash, I'll have a drink. If that doesn't sit right with you, that's okay by me. Either watch or don't watch. It's up to you. I'm an adult. I'm a grown-up. I'm a man. Man like beer. Or a fruit-based drink for the ladies. Pub landlord. Like that was, wasn't it? Pub landlord with a fruit-based drink for the ladies. That's a red wine. I can afford that. Oh, I cannot read. I'm going to have to... I see there's a chat going on. Somebody there, I'm more of a red wine man, but I can't see who. The chat is just so faded out. Stout. Yeah, you know, Guinness. Or the other one, Murphy's. Yeah. No, I'm a, you know, I like a proper drink. Yeah, those are real. See, once upon a time, folks, a beer was like soup. It was a meal, and it was a liquid meal. These modern things where everything's filtered and you know, strained and it's clear and transparent. That's a modern thing. That's only the last 100 years. You go back 150 years and a beer was more like soup. Stouts and porters. India Pale Ale, so called because it was made to travel long distances to India from Britain or Ireland. IPA, what we call bitter in England. A pint of bitter, an IPA. It's a pale ale. It was pale compared to a porter or compared to a Guinness or a stout. Guinness or Murphy's. But so many of you guys, you saw me fall asleep, and the automatic assertion or assumption is that alcohol. Could I not just be tired? I've been up all fucking night. I spent all day writing out my notes and watching the original TrampCast. There's a I don't know if it's just Americans, but there is a heavy bias amongst you towards puritanicalism. If I appear with a can of beer in my hand, I'll lose 2 subscribers. No doubt about it. Every time I do it, I'll lose 2 subscribers minimum. And I'm alright with that. Live and let live, folks. If you can't do that, if you can't watch somebody like what they're saying, but then you disagree with them because alcohol, this isn't the channel for you. Unsubscribe. Move on. If you can see past that, great. If you want to come down on a Friday night or Friday afternoon and bring a 12-pack, and we'll bury it between us. That's where I want to be. That's nice. That was my friend Sven on Friday. He brought a 12-pack of beer, had one. He was driving, he had to go. But he left me the remaining 10 after we'd had one each. Now this was when my friend Ismo was sat in the airport waiting to fly to Germany. And his flight was delayed by 3 hours. Ryanair. What can you say? Ryanair. But off he went to Germany to go get his car and fix his brakes and drive it back. Now, Friday night, for me, means one thing. If you've been around the channel any length of time, Friday night tights on the nerdrotic. Think erotic, but replace the initial E with nerd. Nerdrotic channel on YouTube. Friday night tights. It is literally the highlight of my week. Don't agree with them on a lot of things. They are perhaps more right-wing than I am, but that's all right. You're allowed your opinion on things. I can watch people and appreciate them even when I disagree with them. And they can be quite funny. Ryan Kinnell, he did a Batman review. There was a Batman film, I think it was last year. He did a Batman review and he rated it like 8.5 out of 10. But he said, all of the good guys are black and all of the bad guys are white, with the exception of Batman and Alfred. And that one comment, which was true, but that one comment brought down a shit ton of abuse on him. But this is modern filmmaking, diversity and inclusion and equity. It's all in there, and these guys are opposed. These guys are opposed to it. They're not opposed to it per se. They're opposed to it being rammed down their throats and being so obvious and so. If it gets in the way of the story, if the story's there and told properly, and it has diversity and inclusion, that's fine. What they don't like is when the diversity and equity and inclusion is rammed down your throat at the cost of the story, where it breaks the film and breaks you out of it, which is where so many modern films and TV series go wrong. Anyway, Friday night, for me, it's a highlight of my week. Friday night tights. I get 1 hour in. This thing goes on for 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes. I get 1 hour in, fast asleep, miss the whole fucking thing. This has been a regular thing. I used to have no problem staying up well 3, 4, 5 in the morning. But the last 3 or 4 months, this has just been a regular thing. I sit down wanting to watch Friday Night Tights. Starts at 10 o'clock in Spain, roughly, when they're not half an hour late. They're always late to some extent, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They do a poll at the beginning of each show. How late will we be this week? It's built into the lore of the show. It's part of the fun, guessing how late they're going to be. But they could run a separate poll as to how soon will Delta Mike fall asleep. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. It's just not taking my click isn't working, folks. I'm sorry. I can't do anything. I can't scroll back in the chat even when the chat's visible. When it's not visible, I can't make it be visible. I saw someone said, "Oh, the herb." Yeah, if you want to toot away, that's yeah. Each to their own. Now, Let me just backtrack a little bit to this wino alky kind of thing. When the police come and when the man from the government comes to help, they're always concerned about my health. They're always talking, have you seen a doctor recently? I haven't seen a doctor in my fucking adult life. I went once. Here's what was happening. I'd walk that way and I'd hit the wall over there. I had an ear infection. I had a bad cold or flu, whatever. I went to see the doctor and I went back a couple of weeks later to ask about something else. I had 2 or 3 little niggles that had been going on for a while. And I asked, and the doctor, a young lady, she asked me to pick one of the 3 things. I never went back. Paid my taxes and my national insurance and everything all my life. And it's like the first time I went to the doctor in my adult life. And they're asking me pick one of your 3 ailments to be looked at. Fuck you. Pick one. No, I'm not picking one. I'm not qualified. How do I prioritize? I'm not medically trained. How do I fucking prioritize which is the most important? I had something with my knee, something with my back, and some other pain inside. I don't know. But I'm not qualified to fucking pick which is the most important. It could have been a fucking abdominal aortic aneurysm. I could have been like 15 seconds away from death. I don't know. Pick one. So these guys, when they come out and they do the thing, it's like when I was arrested, they always ask, do you need to see a doctor? I'm like, no, I don't need to see a doctor. And then the next thing is, yeah, but as soon as you do, let us know. They're assuming I'm a drug addict, and after 3 or 4 hours in the cells, I'm going to start withdrawal and be blah, blah, blah. Let me just explain. This is me. This is who I am. I've told you I like a beer. I like whiskey and brandy as well, actually. I like spirits. Red wine. White wine if I can't get any other wine. I've never taken a single draw of a cigarette in my life. Not once. I was offered heroin once by someone in a nightclub and I threw the guy down the stairs. Literally threw him down the fucking stairs. Blue Rhapsody in Morecambe. I got to the top of the stairs and this guy, hey man, you want some? And I just grabbed him and just threw him down the fucking stairs. I've never pot, I've never done anything. So when people start assuming that I'm some kind of drug addict, or that I'm an alky, or that I'm a whatever, it offends me. Yes, I'm homeless. But unlike most other homeless people, I've got 7 grand in the bank. It's just my bank won't let me have my fucking money. One day, I'll embarrass them over that fact. Maybe I'll cost them some money about it. Druggy? No. Alky? No. Like a drink. Use alcohol. Occasionally, abuse alcohol. Don't we all? But I'm not an alky. I'm not a druggie. Just because I'm homeless doesn't mean I need to see a doctor. Fuck you. Okay. Friday night tight, fell asleep. Bang. Saturday morning. The forecast was for a hot day. It was supposed to be like 5 degrees warmer than the previous day. So I had plans to go away. I was going to pack a rucksack and take off, and me and the dog go sit on the top of the cliffs where there's a sea breeze and, you know, take some water and whatever, bottle of water and go. But it was cloudy. The forecast was for it to be so hot, but the reality was dull and overcast. Actually quite cool. to begin with. Now, my doggie, some days, folks, some days she starts licking my face, and I know that I have to get up, you know, before 5, 6 in the morning, and I know that she needs to get out and go do what she needs to go and do. She's good like that. She lets me know. It's annoying, 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning. It's annoying, but nature is, you know. She has to do what she has to do, and she had me go out twice before 8 o'clock. But hey, some days. I think this was because when Yokka, when he'd come around the day before, he'd brought a bone with some meat on, and I don't know if it's salted or just really, really dry. But whenever she has one of these bones, she'll eat it and eat it and eat it, and afterwards she gets quite dehydrated. You know, she needs lots of water, so she drinks lots, and then obviously a few hours later we got to go and offload some of that water. So this was my Saturday morning. So it started quite cool, as I said, but yeah, okay. This was where I became aware that I was down to my last 10. I'd been shopping the night before, but I was now on my last 10 euros. And like I said, I've just been and spent that today. What's this? Is this Monday? It's Monday still, yeah? I lose track. Saturday morning I was on my last 10, and today I've just been and spent my last 10. But this is where I started to kind of start thinking through and planning what to buy. Potatoes, carrots and onions are usually the base of my meals when I'm at this stage, when I'm down to my last money. So I did all this planning. It's, like I said before, it's an interesting exercise. I've got a couple of these interesting exercises. Guys, imagine you've got 24 hours notice. You got to leave your house this time tomorrow. You can only take what you can carry, and you're going to go and live out there somewhere. You don't know where. Where are you going? What are you taking? You've got 24 hours to plan it, and you can only take what you can carry. Don't overload yourself so that you can't get anywhere. You're probably going to fill one hold all and maybe one shopping bag or something, one extra bag. If you've got pets or children, you've got to take those with you, and you've got to provide for those as well. What are you doing? Where are you going? When you walk down those steps tomorrow. Alternately, another exercise is this one. You've got 10 or 20 pounds, euros, dollars, whatever your currency is. You've got 10 or 20. What are you buying? It's got to last you maybe 2 weeks till you can get something from somewhere else. What are you buying? This is the exercise. This is what I've just been through today. Well, this last weekend. This has been on my mind. I've been planning it the weekend. And when you get into the shop, everything's more expensive than you thought it was. I said about the potatoes. If I could have bought a 5 kilogram bag, they would have been 120 per kilo. I only bought 3 kilos because that's all that was there, and they're like 150 per kilo. Because you're poor, you're charged extra. Everything costs more because you haven't got the money. It's like when I went to buy dog food and I couldn't afford the 16 kilogram sack. I had to buy the 4 kilogram, and it was twice as much per kilogram. That's why I prefer to buy I take my shopping trolley and I go on, whenever I'm in that position, I buy her a 16 or 18 kilogram. It used to be a 22 kilogram bag. Shrinkflation. The price hasn't moved much. It didn't for a while, it has now. But you now only get 16 kilograms instead of 22. But off you go. You've got 10 or 20 euros or pounds or dollars. Off you go. What are you buying? That's for you to survive on. That's all you're going to have. That and whatever else you've already got. Go. What are you getting? For me, it's potatoes, onions, carrots, because together with a tin of tomatoes or tomato frito, a carton of fried tomato. With those, I can make a soup or a stew or a whatever. I've also got cream in there, so I could knock up some kind of, you know, I've got pastas. I could knock up some kind of carbonara or something with my 1-year-old bacon. If you watched the 9-month bacon video a while back, you'll be aware that I've still got a pack of that bacon from then. Must be nearly a year old now. It'll be fine. Don't panic. It's bacon. It's in salt. It's preserved with salt. That's the whole point of bacon. Some of you Americans, I see Corporal's Corner, Sean, can't remember his name. It's a very Irish name. Anyway, when Sean goes off into the woods on an overnighter and he's going to go, people are like complaining that his bacon's been out of the fridge for more than 6 hours. You can't eat that. It's been out in the fridge. Mate, it's bacon, for fuck's sake. It's salted. It's a preserve. That's the whole point of what bacon is. It doesn't go off because salt. It creates an environment where the botulism or whatever it is that the main food poisoning germs can't survive. That's the whole point of bacon. To not go off. So just because I eat some 6 months or 8 months or whatever past its sell-by date, don't panic. Carbonara is an option because I've got cream, I've got bacon, I've got pasta. I do something like that. But it's a good exercise though, guys. What are you going shopping with your final 10 euros or 20 euros? What are you buying? How long is it going to last? Have you got enough food in the house to last a month if some kind of emergency happened? If COVID happened again and it was some kind of lockdown and you weren't even allowed to go to the shop, how long you got? How long before you're dead? Work it through. Think it through. We should all have a bit more of a prepper mentality. A lot of people went ape, was it a month or two ago, when the British government suggested that people should be more independent and more resilient, that you should have a couple of months worth of food in your house. If you can have a generator or like my solar generator over here, my solar power station, have something in case the grid goes down. Be prepared, be independent. Don't sit there looking to the government immediately all the time. Shit can go wrong. I'm living in a fucking field. Shit went wrong. How wrong did it go and how many things went wrong for me to end up here is a story for another day. TrampCast 001. I want you all to watch that. I enjoyed it. I was fascinated. I couldn't take my eyes off it. And I know how that sounds. I know. But guys, we're getting towards the end of the week. We're on Saturday here. Now, planning how to spend my final money. That was the diversion. That was the aside we just took. Adela. This is the lady who hasn't got much, that's struggling to look after an elderly relative with dementia, who'd been on Friday and brought me some food. She came back. She brought me the most fantastic burger I've ever had in my life. I mentioned this earlier. It was the most succulent, the most tender, the most delicious. Now, I don't know if this is situational. I don't know if this is because, tramping a field. But to my mind, it was the best burger I've ever had. And she brought me these pork steaks as well, cooked. And she's given me these glasses because I broke mine. Sorry, Anita, if you're out there, Anita. I don't think you are, but Anita, my friend, gave me a couple of pairs of glasses on the occasion of the second flood, the second time this field flooded. November the 11th, 2022. She gave me a blanket and some sweatpants, jog pants, and a sweatshirt because everything was ruined. No, no, Tina girl. I said no. But I eventually, because I wear the glasses in bed, so that I can control the phone, and I like to have the phone. I like to have a podcast or something, some background noise. But I'd broken these other ones. The lens had popped out, and then because there was no lens in there, the frame had bent and buckled and snapped. And I'd been holding the lens in with some Jack Duckworth style sticky tape. Jack Duckworth was a character in a soap opera in the UK, for you guys that are not from the UK. He's a poor man who just made do and kept his glasses going with sticky tape for years. Well, I was doing that, but Adela saw that and she brought me an old pair of glasses that she's no longer using, she says. I don't know if that's true or she's just telling me that to be nice, to make me not blush too much. I got a note here. Yeah, glasses. Don't forget the reading glasses. Yeah, thank you, Adele. So that, guys, that was Saturday, which took us up to well, Saturday night. I did my internet thing. I watched Scruff Dog. He donated. I did a thank you yesterday to Scruff Dog. That's his YouTube nickname, YouTube handle. He doesn't reveal his real name. Quite right. I shouldn't have either with mine. But I watched Scruff Dog. That took me through to, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning. Then a guy called Ethan Van Sciver, comic artist, Pro Secrets. I would have watched his TrashCast. There's Flashcast, TrashCast, and TrampCast. That's the trifecta. You want to get those. You want to watch all those. But I watched him. And that took me through to the morning yesterday. And then, obviously, I started prepping my notes and everything for this. Which is why I was so tired, guys. It's why I fell asleep. So, let's say dramatically, with those big yawns yesterday afternoon. I know some of you are going to say it was the ale. You're going to say that I looked drunk or I looked whatever. I watched it back. I can't see any sign of it being the drink. I only had, was it 4 cans from Ismo? Tina, no. Hey, Tina, no. Quiet, quiet. Hey. Tina, girl. Shush. Tina, quiet, quiet. You make up your own mind. Watch it back. You decide. I did the big yawns, no teeth, Tina, enough. Sufficiente. Basta. Siéntate. Siéntate. Sit down, buggerlugs. Sit. Give me a second, folks. I'll be right back. I just need to kill the dog. Oi. Let's have some quiet. Let's have some quiet. Daddy's talking to the people. Daddy's talking to the peoples. Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that. Dogs. Okay. Sunday morning, guys. Sunday. The heat in the tent was absolutely ridiculous. By 10 in the morning, it was 44 degrees at head height in the tent. I got a thermometer hanging from a line. My mate Ismo bought the thermometer. I got another thermometer inside my cool box to try and track how well that is or isn't doing. But 44 degrees at 10 in the morning. We were in for a hot one. And like I said, I was tired. And prepping for TrampCast. That was the day. I spent all day moving my notes from the phone to the page, researching the numbers, the 32, for the chemistry and the all those. I did like that one. 1 to the power 1 plus 2 to the power 2 plus 3 to the power 3 for 32. That was nice. 1 to the 1, 2 to the 2, 3 to the 3. Silly little maths crap like that. It just gets me. I like that. That's novel. That's entertaining. So that basically that was my Sunday until I did the live stream, and you saw how that ended. A little bit embarrassing. I got people saying I should hide the entire stream because how can you keep that up? It's so embarrassing. You were so far gone. Fuck it. What do I listen? In terms of problems in my life, embarrassing myself with people I've never met on the internet. Guys, I'm living in a fucking field. I'm homeless in a country where I don't speak the language. I got no income. Being a little bit embarrassed because I got tired and fell asleep doesn't count. That's not even up. It's not up there. It's not even. It's fucking nowhere. I don't mind leaving that up. As I said, I watched it back twice. I don't see any drunkenness there. I don't think it was a drink. Maybe in combination with being tired. Maybe that's why it grabbed me. But I think mainly it's just the fact that I didn't sleep Saturday night. I was awake literally all night. No biggie. I'd rather have not fallen asleep on, live on the fucking internet. Suboptimal, you might say. It's less than ideal, but it's not that biggie. Not that much of a biggie. And let's face it, at any one moment, there's only 8, 9, 10 of you watching. How many of you got to the end? You weren't there yesterday at the end. You didn't even know it had happened until I just told you. It's no biggie. Okay, folks. That was the week that was, as I used to call this. Before I started live streaming, when I did this as a recorded video, I called it That Was the Week That Was. It only became TrampCast once it became a live broadcast, a live stream. The upcoming week, what have we got coming up? Same old, same old. I got no money. I paid my phone bill at the weekend. Was that last? That might have been last weekend. Was it? God, time flies. Tempus fugit. I'm not sure. Might have been this week. Might have been last. I paid 2 months. That's part of the reason that there's no money in the PayPal account. It costs, there's a fee for me, because Labara no longer accept PayPal, so I have to pay via a third party, and they stick a fee on top. And it's only financially worthwhile if I can do 2 months. That way the fee spread over 2 months isn't too wild, isn't too big a deficit. But that's why I left myself short. That's how because I'm doing YouTube, and I need data, you know. If I suddenly didn't have data 1 month, I'd have to disappear for a month. You wouldn't see me. Then you'd all be worried. And I wouldn't know you were worried because I wouldn't be able to get online and see the comments. So yeah, there's that. Tina no. So yeah, more of the same. I've got no money, but I've bought food now. I've got potatoes, onions and carrots. So I'm going to be cooking. So maybe there'll be a few cookery videos depending on what ideas I come up with. I'm not sure whether today's will make a video or not. It's basic. Fried potatoes, like the other day, potatoes in a garlic oil. Tomatoes, lentils. Is that it? I think that was it. There was a fish stock. I thought about, oh, tuna. Tuna. I got 2 tins of tuna. One in oil, one in a tomato sauce. That's it. That's today's food, and that would be the pattern for the upcoming week, because I've got potatoes, I've got lots of tomato frito and tins of tomatoes. I got carrots and I got onions. Cookery. That is the week ahead. Unless the authorities decide to descend and upend my plans. In which case, you can expect to see videos with police cars and things. Guardia sizzle. I should stop using that. I like it so much. It was such a fun pun to come up with. The Guardia sizzle. Tina girl, leave the lady alone. Leave the lady alone. There's a pretty lady walking down the road with a dog, and Tina's just going wild because Tina. Okay, folks, I think that's me. That's me. I've told you the week that happened, and I've told you my plans for the week and the only things that can upset the plans. Unless there's any bad weather. I haven't seen any notifications about bad weather. My friend Ismo is going to be in Finland this week, so there's not going to be any Ismo popping around with beer. I think this is it. Maybe my friend Karen and family will pop around one day. I don't know. She's got about a week left over here. Maybe maybe I'll take the clippers over my face and take it back down to the bone. Get rid of the white. Maybe I'll even get a proper razor on and do it properly. But I've got that kind of face. If you saw me after it was done last weekend, my top lip's got a kind of a scar where I was kicked in the face when I stepped in where angels fear to tread, when I stepped in to save a man's life and got beaten up for my trouble. I've got the lip was hanging off like that the next morning. I got up the next morning, I had to go get a taxi and go to hospital. Have my face stitched back together. 7 teeth kicked out. My last 7 teeth kicked out. But one of them had stuck through the bottom lip, and there'd been some damage here. And that's why it looks kind of like I've got a cleft palate or something when you see me clean shaven. I got the kind of face that looks like it needs a beard nowadays. Because I stepped in. I stepped up and stepped in. And you should too, if ever you see that, if you're in that situation. Step up. That's my message to you. That's my closing thoughts. Okay, folks, we're coming up. Oh, right, okay. Shall we? Maybe I can prattle on for another minute and a half. Take us up to the 2 hour mark. Is anybody chatting? I'm not seeing any chat, but that doesn't mean there isn't any. Maybe it's there and I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. But going back to what I was saying. If you see something, you see a man and a woman arguing in the street, or you just see an argument, step up. Tell them to stop. We all should. It's the British way. Step in. Step up. Do your bit. Yeah. Occasionally you get kicked in the face and lose a few teeth. Doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. Sometimes you've just got to do what you got to do. You do the right thing. Not because it's going to be good or it's going to reward you. You do the right thing because it's the right thing. Simple as. You can overcomplicate things. You can mull things over. You can stew on them. You can plot it out and plan it out. Sometimes, guys, sometimes you just have to step in because it's the right thing to do. Step in and step up. And with that, I shall wish you a fond farewell. We've got about 15 seconds till the 2 hour mark. But that's it from me. I've told you about the week that was. I've told you what I think's upcoming. It's not much. There's nothing much going on here. But it is as it is, folks. Okay. I can't point at Tina because the camera won't take my click. Oh, it will. There. Can you see her in the distance? Somewhere over there. From T. It won't take the click and come back to me. Did it? I can't. And from me, Delta Mike, out. Catch you next time. No, we're not reconnecting.